Hi, it's Crazy Chris. Outdoors in beautiful Kamloops, and I've just got a really fun hack for you. So, who doesn't have old lights, solar lights for the garden that are super grody? So, we all have those lights that, they've been out there in the snow, in the winter, if you don't put them away like I don't. And the tops of them get so that they're very cloudy, and a lot of times, and inside here is like spiders, tons of bugs. Now this one comes apart really great, and all you do is you can take it all apart, and then all I did was put it in I've got a bucket down here, and I just put some Dawn liquid soap in, and in my bucket I literally just took this all apart, and it all unscrews, and then I'm going to take it apart and put it in the bucket. We're going to soak it for a while, and then what you're going to do is you are going to take 2 pieces of sandpaper. Now one of them is a 400 and one is about a 2000, or the highest you can get. And what you're going to do is you're going to wet those pieces of sandpaper. So I'm going to use the 400 first, and I'm just going to wet the sandpaper, and I would have cleaned this off already as well. And then you're just going to spray that so it's nice and wet, and you're going to take your wet sandpaper and you are going to just clean around that fogged, and you can just see all the grime on there. So you just, not like super pressure like when I'm sanding a piece of wood, but just, you're gonna do that a couple of times. And I just spray it every once in a while, just give it a squirt, because you just don't want it to be dry and scratch it. So you're gonna do it first with that 400, and then you are going to take your 2000, or the highest you have, and you're just gonna keep doing that until you really basically aren't getting the brown, like on here there's still some brown water, until you're not getting that brown water anymore. So once you do that, you're gonna do the next step. Ooh. And so what it's gonna look like is just like this. It's still looking dull, but you let it dry so that it's not wet. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna just use this one I'm using is a Armor Coat clear liquid lacquer, but you can also use like a clear top coat. Now the first one I did, I taped off just the square here, and you're gonna just do short spurts, very thin coats. Don't try and do it all at once thick, doesn't work, believe me, I had to sand it off. But in this case I decided, because this is kind of looking dull, I'm gonna put the clear coat on that as well. So the great thing is, and then don't forget, always put your gloves on, because you don't want to get this lacquer on your hands. It's kind of the pits to get off. Now, as I say, I'm going to do this entire top, but if you didn't want to do the top, you might have a glass one or a different one, you know, an old one that you didn't want to get the top coat on. So then you just put a piece of cardboard or just even brown paper, cut that square out so that just the square shows. And then you're just gonna go the little bursts, and I'm gonna just try and do this here, but I don't really wanna do it in, you know, I'm on the deck, but you would just basically, and I'm just gonna spray this over here. So I am just literally, I'm just gonna do a coat, like one coat, and then I'm just gonna sit it and let it dry. And if you let it dry for about an hour, that's probably good. It's nice and warm out here. Now this one I've done about 3 coats on, and you can just see what the difference is. So here's the one that I didn't do at all, and here's the one that's got about 3 coats on. Isn't that just crazy? And so simple. So the great thing is, it's really easy to do, and I mean, it totally changes your entire light. So here's one that's done, and I'm gonna go and put those back out tonight, and they are gonna look so awesome. And the great thing is you don't have to take your solar lights and throw them out, because a lot of times we just throw them out because they're all clouded. And who knew? I didn't know this would work. I was really pleased that it worked really cool. You really should put your lights away in the winter time, but just from being in the hot sun. So basically all you do is you clean the entire thing in soap and water, let it dry, take your 400 and make sure you keep it just wet with water, scrub off the square where the panel is for the solar panel, then take your 2000, scrub that as well, rinse it all off, let it dry completely, and then spray a very thin coat of your lacquer or top coat. Do about 3 coats and you're good to go. That's it. Fun hack, truly works. Hope you can save some of those outdoor lights and save some money. Take care.